Hello and welcome. Today is Tuesday and we got a big show today. This is Paranormal Week. I hope you all are having a very paranormal experience out there. Let's dive into lunch therapy. Welcome. Okay, here we are for the beginning of the show where we breathe. What a weird, novel concept, breathing. I like it. So we're going to take in a deep breath through our nose. And then we're going to hold it and we're going to let it out through our mouth. That's the plan. Here's the first one. Holding it. Let it out. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself existing in space. Feel the oneness of the universe. All right, breathe it in. All right, Sue Sweeney is here. Yabba dabba doo. Let it out. Thanks for joining us, Sue, for Paranormal Week. Hoy, Camila Lopez. Underwater Angel. That's right. Got an angel fish. Got some cool fish. We're going to breathe in one more time. It's hard to breathe under the water, but not today. Holding it. Hi, Todd. Letting it out. I like this. I like this underwater stuff. And I think perhaps next week will be underwater week. We'll find out. Exploring the oceans. I don't know much about the oceans. I know deep down there's some freaky stuff that's almost paranormal. Hey, Pam. Hoy. Mary Marks. Mary. So I got some... Where's Jaws? Exactly. The scariest movie ever made. I have some fun stuff coming up. Tomorrow we're going to talk with Mary Marks. It's behind me? Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not scared. I hear sharks are a little like dogs. We're going to find that out. They can be a little like dogs. Just gotta... You know, my cat whacked me the other day, and I realized I just have to stay behind it. Just stay behind the cat, and it can't get me. Same with the sharks. Hard for hummingbirds to get underwater, but we'll give it a go. So, we're going to bring Mary Marks on the show tomorrow. Today we've got a guest who's going to come on towards the end of the show. He is the security guard, or he was a security guard at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, and he's going to give us the scoop on the ghosts that haunt the Biltmore Hotel. So we've got that coming up. I've got that to look forward to. Also, another thing that we're going to do this week is horoscopes, because I think horoscopes should be included in the paranormal, even though it's not in my definition of paranormal, although it's sort of unexplained, right? Like why would the stars have any effect on us? I don't really believe it, but we'll see. Sometimes it's uncanny. Sometimes it is uncanny. So if you guys will let me know your different signs, I will read some horoscopes that were sent to me by the Meisels. They're really good too. Moving on. I like raccoons. Okay, I'm a big fan of raccoons. Some people don't like them. My friend Jeff Stebbins, he hates raccoons. But I love them. I love them. And some people have them as pets. There's a guy on the internet who had a pet raccoon named Tito. This is his other pet raccoon, Cheeto, playing with a puppy. Yeah. This is it. There he is. So the YouTube channel is Tito the Raccoon, and I invite you to subscribe. We're just going to take a short look at the raccoon playing. Ooh, Matt Wright stayed at the Biltmore. We're going to have to hear his experiences. Yeah, well, we're looking at some puppies playing with raccoons. Pandas. Nobody trashes pandas. Nobody does. Pandas are untrashable. All right, little beer, 7. Don't know what it means. Little scared, little scared. All right, so there we go. There's a raccoon with a dog. You can go to the Tito the Raccoon YouTube site and see that. They got all kinds of animals there. Really good ones. Oh, cold. Raccoons equals trash pandas. You guys are on the same wavelength, Ganell and Matt, right? Oh, it's terrible. So I got the brick wall behind me today. So I'm gonna do a little bit. Yeah, I stayed at the Biltmore. Love raccoons. They are not trash pandas. Thank you very much. I only heard the slang term for the raccoons. Usually slang terms, they're not helpful. Not helpful. Okay. Follow me on Twitch. There's a person on Twitch. My family has been heavily impacted due to COVID. So I have set up a fundraiser called Nick Grr to support in need. So please shout out the fundraiser. Okay, Tiny Cap, there you go. Shouting it out. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Follow the show. I don't think it's pejorative, trash pandas. Well, because pandas are great, right? And these are just ones. And nobody's going to argue with you that raccoons don't go in the trash. So raccoons eat rabies. No. I'm not going to post that. Oh, I did. I think it said with love. Masked marauders. Fake news. J. And other STDs. Tiny Cap, sorry to hear about your family. We are sorry to hear about that. And again, I'll post that one more time. Shout out, Tiny Cap. And Mike Wetzel. Fact. I love it. Thanks for being on here, Mike Wetzel. And Kyogren. It's good to see you, Kyogren. All right, let's move on. What I wanted to talk to you about today is I've been living in Los Angeles for a long time. And here in Los Angeles, doctors, I don't know, man. They got a problem. They got a problem, I think. I'm used to doctors just, sticking to their own genre. But for some reason, whenever you go to an LA doctor, they have brochures in their waiting room for plastic surgery. Every single one of them. No matter what they do. You go to a podiatrist, he's going to be more interested in your crow's feet than your human feet. You go to any doctor. You go to acupuncturist. They're going to be like, well, I could fix your face. I think that's probably because there's money in it, and I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of investment in their outer appearance, more than say Seattle, where I'm from. So they all got this side job where they're doing plastic surgery and they're trying to upsell you in the waiting room, and I think it's just weird. I think it's super weird. Yeah, I know. WTF. Matt Wright could fix your face. It's great because we have some Twitch people in the Twitch room today. And if you guys follow the show, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So it's okay, I guess, unless something serious happens. And then you go to the doctor and they're trying to give you some kind of plastic surgery. I had a thing couple years back where I had like a cold or something, and then I had this headache that just wouldn't go away. The cold went away, but I just had this headache. And so it happened when I jumped up and down. I would get a headache, so that makes it kind of tough. And my wife's like, you should go to the doctor. But I'm scared, because I don't know. It seems like they're just trying to sell some extra services or something like that. And I don't know. So I finally went, right? I went to the doctor, and because I had to, because what do? It's weird. Headaches are weird. Headaches are scary. So I go to the doctor. Doctor talks really fast. Like he's got, I don't know, like he's turning tables or something. Like, he's only got so much time to talk. So he talks really fast and you don't know what he's saying. And you have no idea. And he's like, oh, yeah, let me, and he looks up in your nose and he's like, okay, I'm going to write a prescription for an antibiotic. And he scribbles on something. And it's an antibiotic. Okay, so this is what they do. What they do is they write you an antibiotic, and then you're supposed to see how it goes. They don't figure it out. They just throw an antibiotic at it. And so they tried that. And then I had to go. The weird thing is, too, it used to be you got health insurance where you worked, and then you went to the doctor and everything was cool and it was all through that health insurance. Now you have to pay for health insurance at work. And then when you go to the doctor, you have to pay again, like a copay. And then after that, they send you bills from all kinds of different places. And the bills are like much higher than any other bills. And you don't know where they came from. And it's a crazy, crazy business. And then your thing doesn't get better and you got to go back. So I went back and he gave me another antibiotic and I had to pay another copay. And then I got a whole bunch of bills again that I couldn't pay. And it's still not fixed. So I go back and he's like, oh, yeah. And then he gave me an MRI. And then he shows me this picture and he's like, and he says, see? And I'm like, no, I don't see. And he says, well, see that circle in the middle there? That's supposed to be white and it's black. And that means that your sphenoid sinus is infected. And, to this day, I don't even know if there is a sphenoid sinus. But he says we have to operate. We have to go in there and we have to operate. Yeah. I know. This is so interesting. Exactly, Katie Lou. Thank you. So he has to operate, has to put me out, operate, and he says, you know what? I'll also be able to fix your deviated septum. I don't even know what a deviated septum is. I guess it's a little thing in your nose. It's a little off. He says, I'll fix that as a bonus. I'll just throw that in there. And you can't ask him, how much is this going to cost? Because the doctor acts like, whoa, hey, whoa. It's like some kind of social faux pas to ask a doctor how much it's going to cost. They're like, well, I guess you don't care about your body. Or like, well, I can't be bothered with that kind of thing. Anybody else, you ask them how much it's going to cost, they tell you, and then you decide whether you want to get it or not. And if once you pay, hopefully the thing is fixed, right? So I'm like, all right, I guess you're going to, what happens if I don't do it? And it's almost like a threat, He says, well, there's a little bone separating your brain from this sphenoid sinus. And if the thing gets too infected, the bone will break and it'll infect your brain. And then you got a real problem. So what do you do? So I just did it. And I figured, well, I'll get my deviated septum fixed as well. And I maybe won't have a headache. This is very interesting, according to the Twitchers. You dropped this, my queen. So, yeah, it's great. We have a good chat room today. It's fantastic. So I did it. I got the thing fixed. The headache went away. But a few months later, I'm with my wife and we're at the store and she's like, what do you think about this candle? What do you think about that candle? How does that smell? How does this smell? And I'm like, I don't really like any of them. And she's like, well, you love vanilla. Why can't you smell that? And I was like, and I realized I can't smell at all, right? I had lost my sense of smell. And that can be actually a good thing. My wife went out of town for like a week, and apparently some possum or something died under the porch, and I didn't even smell it. It wasn't until like she came home, she's like, oh my God, what is that smell? And it was some dead animal under there. But, you know, I guess I was saved from the horrible smell. So what do? I mean, what should I do? I got to go back to the doctor and be like, hey, you know, I think you disconnected something while you were in there, like a wire or something that should have been plugged in is now not plugged in anymore. And so I lost my sense of smell. And he's like, well, let me see. He looks up my nose. Looks fine to me. Although, and this is the clincher, he says, although you do have a deviated septum. So at that moment, I realized, oh no, I'm in trouble. And he's like, no, I didn't disconnect anything. You smell fine. It's totally fine. And then he takes this big needle and he jams it in my face and I don't know, injects me with something. I'm like, what was that? And he's like, well, I was just just some kind of steroid or something. It'll probably solve the problem. And I'm like, is that going to solve the problem? He's like, I don't know. So, and by then I can't even ask how much it costs. So I just leave and I get the bills. I have to pay a copay. I have to do all that stuff. And is this even going to work? Well, of course it didn't work, right? And of course I got more bills. And I have no idea what he said. And I think, well, maybe I should get a second opinion, right? So I go to another ear, nose, and throat doctor, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and there are brochures for crepey skin and fixing your rhinoplasty and, you know, getting butt implants and all this stuff. And I'm starting to think, what kind of world am I living in here? I mean, what if something was really wrong? I mean, it's pretty weird not to be able to smell. So I go in to see this ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he's like a comedian. He is like blathering on, and you know, I don't know if you've ever seen Patch Adams, but doctors should not be allowed to joke. I'm a computer technician, and I do not joke. I learned that early on because what happens is one of two things. You're fixing somebody's computer, which is terrifying to most people anyway, and you're in there like messing with stuff. And if you're joking, you're laughing. Well, one of the things is people are going to say like, why are you laughing at me? All of a sudden. They're going to say like, are you laughing at me? Or what's worse is you're joking around. And the thing is, they will joke around. They can joke around. It's fine. Joke all they want, but never joke with them. Because suddenly you'll be like, ha ha ha, just having a great old time. You'll be fixing their computer. All of a sudden they'll be like, what did you just do? And you're there. And you're like, I don't know what. And they're like, I just had a folder there with all these files on there and you deleted them. And I'm like, I don't think there's a folder there. I don't know. But now you've lost all credibility. So I go to this doctor and he's joking around, you know, and, you know, I told him I was a comedian, which is a huge mistake. So then he's trying to outdo me with jokes. And he says to me, I say, well, what do you think's going on with my nose? And he says, oh, I don't know. You have a nosmia. A nosmia. I thought he was kidding, you know, and I don't know whether he's kidding or not because he's kidding about everything else. And he's got the flower that squirts water and the big clown shoes. And I'm like, well, I don't know. What do you do about anosmia? And he says, well, I could give you an antibiotic. And I'm just like, oh no. So I leave there. I have to copay. I pick up a brochure for rhinoplasty because, you know, maybe if the nose doesn't work, at least, you know, it could look good. Or maybe I got to get that deviated septum fixed. I finally went for another opinion to another doctor who seemed very serious. And she seemed to know what she was doing, and she looked up my nose, and then she did some tests, and then she sent me some bills, and then I had to pay a copay, and then I had to pay at work, and then I had to pay. And finally she said, I don't know what it is. And I said, you don't know? There's not like a physical blockage up there or something? Thank you, Ganel. I said, do you think it's a mental problem? I said, do you think I'm just imagining that I can't smell things? And you know what she said? She said, maybe. Terrifying. I mean, is there another profession where they don't tell you the price? You have to pay it. It's 3 times as much as anything else that you pay for, and they don't have to fix it? Is there another occupation like that? I think it's a pretty good racket. And I asked the receptionist one time, I went out, had to ask, how much does it cost to fix my anosmia? And she said, I said, why do they charge so much money? And she said, well, it's because of the insurance companies, because we bill them 3 times as much, and then maybe they'll pay us a third. And I said, well, what if you don't have insurance? And she's like, well, then you have to pay 3 times as much. True story, bro. Your nose is crooked, right? It is a little crooked. But that's character, right? She didn't anosmia what the F she was talking about. That's exactly it. It's crazy. What if you took your car in and they talked really fast? It's either the and then you were like, how much does it cost? And they're like, go out and talk to the secretary. What if you had something super embarrassing? You're supposed to go in the lobby and like, hey, I've got genital warts. How much does it cost to fix it? Now I'm getting diagnosis from the chat room. And you know what? It's probably better advice than I got from the doctor. You lost it from Zycam. I don't know. They gave me a bunch of stuff. I have no idea what it is. It's my fault. That's my fault. This is very amusing. This is Jay Gaffney. This is very amusing, but I thought we were talking about ghosts. Yes, we're going to talk about ghosts. When I do comedy, Jay asked me to talk about ghosts. When I do ghosts, he says, where's the comedy? I've got a ghost at my house that keeps renting pay-per-view movies, steals my underwear, eats all my snacks. I think it uses my toothbrush. Please help. It's driving me crazy. I think I got a doctor that you can see. Do you still smell bad? Yeah, and I still smell bad. Matt Wright says, I think I don't know the answer. It's really reassuring to hear. It shows confidence. I don't know the answer, but let's find out together. Yeah. I know. Let's go to medical school and find out together. Okay, so moving on. I have a guest today, and he is going to tell us about the Millennium Biltmore Hotel and the ghosts. This is a place where Matt Wright stayed. This is a place that I have frequented many times, and Antonio was a guard there. I guess we're going to have to find out if I got my sense of smell back. Kamala Lopez thinks Jay Gaffney is abusing Ambien. I think it's a good prognostication. All right, here we go. The guard from the Biltmore Hotel. Antonio, are you there? Antonio, this is Antonio Luna. He worked at the Biltmore Hotel, and he said he had some stories about it. So it's great to see you.
Great seeing you as well, my friend.
All right.
It's been a minute.
Good to have you.
Working there was great. I mean, I've heard a lot of the stories, while I was working there, especially about the Black Dahlia. I don't know if you ever heard about the...
What happened with the Black Dahlia?
Elizabeth Short, short story. She was an aspiring model, actress. She was a regular at the Millennium Biltmore during its heyday. and she was the one. Her body was found chopped up, I believe, near Lamert Park.
Wow.
And come to find out, it was one of Los Angeles' prominent doctors that chopped up her body and everything.
Really?
Yeah, and then I mean, if you follow the story, we would get a lot of weird people, investigating her story.
It was unsolved, right? I mean, pretty much the whole story was never told.
It's an unsolved murder. I mean, from what I heard, the doctor that committed the murder, everybody knew that he did it. He was just never officially charged.
Oh, and so she haunts the Biltmore Hotel?
Yeah, her amongst other ghosts as well. I mean, back in its heyday, around World War II, the Millennium Biltmore was used as a safe haven for all the World War II
soldiers.
So you hear stories of like soldiers with their families living there, and the Millennium Biltmore has a pool inside the hotel as well. Some of the men would die. It was one of the main places where a lot of people would commit suicide off its
really
rooftops. Yeah, so we would get a lot of stories about that. Like guests, they would check in, and a lot of them would be spooked. A lot of the third-party contractors as well. We had one guy. This is my first year working here. He had to work on the AC units on the roof. And he grabbed all his equipment and went up to the roof and whatnot. And he was there for almost an hour. He came back down, white as a sheet, and told myself and my friend Ranley, he also worked there with me, he's not going to work there. He's like, I'm not going to work there. He said, and we told him, well, you left your tools up there. And he goes, well, my supervisor is going to have to grab them, because what he told us.
He wouldn't even go back up there.
He wouldn't go up there. He didn't want to. He said, from what he told us and everybody else, because he spoke a little bit of English and he was Spanish speaking, that he saw a little boy hanging from he was sitting on the very top of the rooftop, just like hanging his feet over the roof like a little boy would,
Yeah.
And it freaked him out. So we would get a lot of that, a lot of the janitorial. The new hires, they would get freaked out at cleaning certain rooms. The presidential suite, where I believe it was Theodore Roosevelt, he stayed there. My first night, I don't know why, but I felt like somebody was messing around with me, a ghost. They probably knew that I was a little scared, so they kind of introduced themselves to me.
Really?
And there was a story of a little boy throwing a ball, because my coworkers are telling me this and all that. And so I'm doing my patrols, and I hit the accounting room, and you're supposed to check the doors and make sure they're locked and secure. But I hear something, and it just freaked me out. And as God is my witness, because I've never been one to be like, I never really believed in ghosts, and until I started working there.
Really?
Somebody literally threw a ball, and there was nobody in the room, Joe. Nobody was in there. There's no way somebody's in the room. A ball was thrown. I had to go check the door. I ran to the door, pushed the door, and then I ran back out and went into the elevator up to the main floor, because it just freaked me out. And
did you ever see the ball?
Yeah, I got to see the ball. I told my fiance and everything, and she laughed, because she's a big believer in the paranormal. And like I told you, my first year working there, I was a big sissy. I was just a very big sissy. After that first year, it was like, okay, you hear certain things, and it's like, after that, it's like, okay, leave me alone, I'm working. Because after a while, you get used to it. You literally get used to it. It's like, okay, there's something out there. People are still around, their spirits or whatnot. They're just doing their thing, and sometimes they want your attention.
Wow. I've heard that on the 10th and 11th floor, that's where Elizabeth, the Black Dahlia, tends to haunt. And then also, I guess, she gets off at the 6th floor or something like that. Yeah?
Yeah, Rendezvous Court. You'll see her spirit coming down every once in a while. That's like the back part of the hotel as well. If you're lucky enough, sometimes because it's pretty relaxing around Rendezvous Court. You'll be patrolling, walking around and whatnot, and then you'll see like out of the corner of my eye, I saw like a silhouette coming down the stairs, and it's like, okay. First time it was like that, it freaked me out. After a while, it's like, okay, she's just walking around.
And you just got used to it.
You get used to it. You literally like it for me, because I've never, it's like I'm not big on the paranormal, but after being around it personally, it's like, okay, they're around. Hey, yeah. Okay, so you just gotta. It's like,
I guess if they're not gonna hurt you.
Not really. They joke around sometimes. You hear them talking. Like if you go up to, like you said, the 11th floor.
Yeah.
Certain floors you can hear like a little whispers.
Weird.
By your ear. What? You definitely hear it. Like, and you hear like sometimes you'll be patrolling one of the main halls, and you hear like a cloud of noises. Like somebody's having a party.
Yeah.
Nothing's there. It's just from what my from what I've heard from friends, it's just, sometimes spirits stick around, and to them, they're still there, and they're doing their thing. Biltmore Court, there's one of the elevators, it's the one to the farthest right. It doesn't work at all. It's shut down. And my first year working there, the elevator door opened, and it was the most scariest thing. Like for me, I had to call my coworker, and we called the engineer. And
wait a minute, that's not supposed to open.
Yeah, it was not supposed to open. We called the engineer of the hotel, and even the engineer was like, "Who's messing with this elevator?" We're like, "We're not messing with it, man. Like, what's going on?" Like, and I even told him, "I go, I'm not working here tonight until you guys shut that damn elevator." Because when you look into it, it's just a dark, entry, and it's like you hear stories. People have died in that elevator, man. So it's like, no, like I don't want to be around that stuff.
Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Go enjoy the hotel, man. It's a great hotel. The staff there are great. I mean,
yeah.
Oh,
it's beautiful. The place is beautiful.
The architecture and whatnot.
Unbelievable.
And just all of its history. Go enjoy it for yourself, and then you can tell me, what you experienced there.
Okay. I hear people go there just for the ghost stories too.
Yeah, a lot.
It's sort of part of the charm of it.
Yeah, a lot. Even like, especially during Halloween and whatnot, like it's nonstop. It's crazy. So it's the Millennium Biltmore, man. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Antonio, for being on the show.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
That was crazy. So one of the things about the Millennium Biltmore and about all this ghost stuff is the more information we have out there, the less fun this stuff gets, I think. So it's great to talk to somebody who actually experienced this paranormal activity. I've always thought that place is freaky, man. That's a freaky place. It looks super cool, but they have secret passageways there too, where there'd be like a door or something that doesn't look like it, just a passageway in the wall, and you can go in there and hide. And super beautiful lobby. Yeah, the weirdest thing for me is that I tried to take the stairs to my room and ended up on a floor that seemed completely abandoned. Yeah, sometimes at my work they'll say, you can stay at the Millennium Biltmore for whatever reason, and people are like, yeah, I'm not sure I want to stay there. But other people, they go there just for the ghosts, just for the haunting. And of course, everybody in the world has stayed there. I think John F. Kennedy stayed there, Roosevelt, Al Capone. Anyway, super fun. It's time for dance break, though, right? It's the end of the show. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We had a great influx of Twitch people at one point. The chats were flying by so fast I couldn't even read them. So that's really cool. Hopefully they'll follow. And it's time for dance break. This is a very special one. These are some people out on the street, and I'm sure they're famous people. I'm not sure because I'm so out of touch, but we're going to watch a little bit of it. Hopefully they'll be cool with it. Let's go for it.
Well, I hope that you've been having the time of your
life.
Has a voice. Just remember, You gotta always think twice.
Scary Pockets.
I remember when I lost my mind. But there was something so special about that day. Even your emotions had an echo. So much space.
Seems kind of very pro.
And when you're out there without a care, yeah, I was
Like
out
the show,
of
super
touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know
Trash
enough.
Pandas rule. Don't you forget it.
I just knew too much. Well, maybe I'm crazy.
Anyway, that's our dance break for today, and that's our show. Thanks for joining me. We'll be on here tomorrow. Talk to you later for Lunch Therapy.